Bridge or stumbling block? What is it? Who are the bridges? Who are the stumbling blocks? Welcome back. My name is Sean. I posted a short on the idea of a bridge and a stumbling block a couple of days ago, and it was kind of a fun, little silly video making a joke out of it, but it's a very serious thing. I talk about how it looks to on different people uniquely to heal from trauma. Forgive me, it's late. I want to talk about this. After this, I'm going to bed. So I'm struggling a bit, but bear with me, okay? Um, a stumbling block and a bridge on your journey to healing. A stumbling block tends to get in the way of you healing, of you changing, of you transforming. It can be a cousin, a friend, a sibling, your husband, your wife, your partner, your dating interest. It can be parents. It can be a colleague, a supervisor. Oftentimes it's ourselves with our habits and things like that. It's anything that gets in the way of you growing and getting to the other side of accomplishing some type of goal. And in this case, the goal is to break a cycle, to heal, to transform into this beautiful person that you want to be so that you can have all of these wonderful things that you're praying for and you're asking for and you're working for. Stumbling blocks tend to get in the way, but they don't always mean to get in the way. It's just that a stumbling block, when it is in the form of a person, probably has not examined their own healing. A stumbling block in a family member, for example, can look like you going to hang out with the family for a holiday. You're sober for a number of years, and your auntie is like, hey, baby, you want this beer? Okay. That's a stumbling block, clearly, because in that case, person is working towards sobriety, but there's someone in the family offering them the very thing that could destroy them or revert them or move them out of their practice of healing, because it is an art, right? So that's an example. Sometimes it's people saying, you want to go to therapy. And that's what those people do, man. You don't need that. That's for the crazy people. Come with us. Okay. So making you feel a little bit confused about your healing, about doing what your soul is telling you to do so that you can grow. Or you want to do that over there. It can be anything. Come over here with us. This is what we doing. It's going to be fun. Stumbling block can also minimize what it is that you want to do. Maybe it's something that you deeply want to do that's going to restore your sense of confidence or your wholeness or heal you. And they might, say, that doesn't sound like that's something that's going to truly heal you. Or you sure that that's the route? It didn't work for my little cousin. But a stumbling block has this interesting way of just making you feel like you are less clear about what you need to do. Stumbling block can even make you feel like they're going to remove their love, their friendship from you if you go on your path and do things your way. That's the scariest kind, because obviously we all want to feel belonging. We want to stand out and be our individual selves, but belonging is something that naturally we do well in when it's healthy belonging. So someone's saying, you do that, I can't rock with you. You're going to embarrass me. I don't want to be seen with you if you're that person doing that, whatever that is for you. That's the scariest kind, but it's absolutely a stumbling block. A bridge, though, is someone who may not know all of the details about what you're working through, may not even need all of the details. Sometimes it's okay to not disclose everything. But they're not concerned about the details. They're concerned about learning about what it is that you need so that you can grow and heal. They're curious to know if they have what it takes to stand in with you while you change and grow. A bridge is not worried about you changing. They're not threatened by you showing up as a different person in any way. And that's really, really, really important. But they're curious. They're open to learning. They're not a rescuer though. They're not a martyr for you or anyone else. They're healthy enough to know I will do the things that I know that I can do in my power. And if I can't help, I'm definitely not going to diminish you and stand in the way. That's the difference. It can be really hard to know the difference between a bridge and a stumbling block, especially if you come from a history of chronic stress, chronic adversity, a history of trauma, family trauma, childhood trauma. You grew up in a zip code or a community where, hey, it was nothing to see things pop off. When you are part of experiences that are deeply, deeply volatile, people don't talk about trauma. People don't talk about spiritual wounds and cycle challenges, breaking generational cycles that people are just trying to survive. We're talking about how we're going to get this money together so we can eat tonight, right? And so it can be hard to know what a stumbling block is because so much about what it means to be a part of your experience is just surviving. Survival energy, survival mode tend to have within that a lot of quick thinking, quick action, which does not allow for the different parts of your heart and your brain to connect so that you can have a thoughtful intention with every action. You're just needing to survive. It's very quick, very cortisol adrenaline, like let's go. It's natural. It's beautiful that humans are able to do that. So I say all of that to say that can make it really challenging to know. Stumbling blocks can be loving and caring people. Sometimes they're the closest people to us. And they've been around us for so long until it's hard to recognize them. Now, a stumbling block does not mean that you have to hate the person, not love the person, be rude to the person. Stumbling blocks that are close to you sometimes just requires you to have a good boundary, to be able to narrate your needs. And if they can't support that because they just don't understand it or that's just not the life that they're living, whatever the rationale, that's all right. It doesn't mean that they're evil and they're evil-minded toward you. It just means that you have to get really clever and witty about how to go after your healing and your change and also keep a safe, healthy distance and space so that they can have their journey too and you're both flexible enough to not hurt each other while you're healing. And then just let the natural process of change take place, and that will determine the legacy of that relationship, whatever that might be. I know that's a whole lot. I hope it helps because I'm still healing. I'm learning a lot, have experienced a whole lot just like you. And that's been a revelation of mine, is learning the difference between a bridge and a stumbling block. And for the many stumbling blocks that are near, how to navigate that. Healing is scary. Deciding to make a change for your life and to break some type of cycle, to transform your life and to grow, it's lonely. You lose friends. People walk out of your life. They don't understand you. Sometimes you look like the weirdo. Sometimes you don't know if you are the weirdo. It's a lot of confusion because you have so much time to evaluate. But all that means is that things are rotating, shifting, and changing so that you can go into this next phase to be the person in that phase to attract all of the things that you've been praying for, asking for, working really, really hard for. So any change like that requires a shifting of every piece in your life, right? You're reshuffling the deck of your life every single time you decide to make a change and start operating in the change. That's all that's happening for those of you who are going through this process of healing, looking at bridges and stumbling blocks and you feel scared and alone. That's a normal process. These beautiful, bright, shining, glittery people that we see on television, we're on some television, getting old. The people that we see on TV and on social media and in our feed talking about their journey to being this wonderful, beautiful, big star, We don't know, and we don't get to hear the details of what that really looked like when they were going through it. We just see them on the outcome, but those are the people who just made it. There's so many people who don't have that kind of platform to talk deeply about what it really looks like when you're changing your life. But it's not an easy thing to do, as we all know. It's not easy to do, not because you got to have discipline, that's a part of it, but it's scary because you might be the only person in an entire generation of family members who are doing something like this, and you feel alone and you don't know if you're doing it right. You're meeting every lesson head on, and lessons are hard to learn, but I want to encourage you, keep going. This is a part of the process and the journey. That's all I have for you. I hope it helps. I love you, and I'll be talking to you again in another video soon. Take care. Bye.